This is a bunch of trash from Chipotle. I'm gonna turn it into a speaker. The first thing I had to do was learn how speakers work, because literally all I knew about them prior to starting this project is that you should disconnect them from your Bluetooth before you open an incognito browser. When you plug your headphones in, your phone outputs a wire with a positive and a negative charge, and when you wrap that wire around a tube with a magnet inside, it vibrates to make a sound. It may seem surprising, but this is literally all you need to make a speaker. All this other crap that gets added on to a speaker you buy from a store just makes the sound a lot louder and clearer. First, I had to figure out what I could use for this tube piece of the speaker, because nothing was really jumping out at me from the rest of the Chipotle trash that I'm working with. For those of us that wipe, toilet paper is a crucial part of the Chipotle experience, and toilet paper tubes can be found in Chipotle bathrooms. So I took a tube out of a Chipotle bathroom to stay true to form with the rest of the Chipotle trash going into this project. Unfortunately, they're no longer offering wire and magnets as breedable toppings, so I had to cop out and get that stuff online. Now I just wrap the wire around the toilet paper tube like this, connect it to a headphone wire, and when I put a magnet inside the tube,
As you can see, it works like this, but it's super quiet, even when I'm yelling. So now I have to figure out how to make it.
the first step to making this thing really bark is pretty obvious. Just attach a Chipotle bowl to the toilet paper tube to carry the vibrations. In order to figure out just how loud this is, I need a non-copyrighted, consistent, monotone sound. Beep. I'll use this same clip of me saying beans for every improvement I make, so I can use my editing software to read exactly how much louder it's getting. The next idea I had on how to make this thing louder came from a different video where I coded my automaton to talk on Obama's voice, an audio amplifier board. Basically, it's just a little circuit board called an amplifier that makes it sound louder before it travels to the speaker, and it'll need a little battery pack to power it. Now after hooking this all up, I can check how loud it is again. So that helped out quite a bit. I experimented with a couple different magnet shapes and coil sizes, but ultimately found out the one I started with was the loudest. Next up, I need to figure out a way for the bowl to freely move back and forth with the vibrations without my hand holding it. This is what happens on those big speakers you see at a strip club or Dave & Buster's, I guess depending on how old you are. Basically, all I need for this is for it to be suspended above the magnet. To make this, I put a magnet in a different Chipotle bowl and then rolled up some other ones to make these little supports. Let's test this out with the intro to Gone Gone by Tyler the Creator, which has a lot of bass. Psych, you thought I was going to play copyrighted music in a YouTube video. This is what it looks like. Here's what it sounds like with a beat I made in Ableton. Very cool. Now that I've got the subwoofer part of the speaker figured out, I need to make a tweeter. This will be pretty easy because I'm doing the exact same thing but using Chipotle cups instead of bowls. This was pretty straightforward. I just attached a copper coil to one of these cups, put a magnet in the other one, and then put them together like this. I noticed this was a bit louder when it was sitting on the table than when I picked it up off of it, because it seemed like the table was providing more mass to vibrate with. In the real speaker making world, this is called a cabinet. It basically prevents the sound from canceling itself out. I made a cabinet for my Chipotle trash speaker by rolling up some bowls into this shape, that I would then stuff into a Chipotle bag and cut holes for the speakers in. Here's what the two speakers sound like together. But before I could assemble it all, there were a couple steps left. There's no reason for me to use these plastic battery packs when I can easily make some battery packs using the aluminum Chipotle lids and cardboard bowls, like this. Next, I made this switch that could turn the two circuits on and off, also using only lids and bowls. Now for this last piece, I just needed to filter the sound so the subwoofer gets the lower sounds and the tweeter gets the higher ones, which can be done with this inductor and capacitor. All that's left now is to put it together in a quick build montage. There's a special song that I'd love to use to show you what this sounds like, but old Uncle Copyright won't be so nice to me if I do that. Luckily, I know how to make a knockoff of it in Ableton, and it's also been said that I kinda look like a knockoff version of a famous singer from the 80s. I'm sorry, I had to do that. Now that you've seen kind of what it sounds like, let's let this puppy really sing. There's a beautiful thing called bass boost that you can use if you want to treat your speaker the way the rich people treat minimum wage workers. All you need to do is crank these fun little knobs up to 11 and... I'd love to show you some real music on this thing, but like I said, I don't want to end up in the copyright gulag for posting that on YouTube. I have posted a bunch of that on my TikTok account though, so if you want to see that and a bunch of other projects I haven't finished editing for my YouTube channel, check me out on there. Thanks for watching.